And here we are. Welcome, Tanya Minhas. And shift happens. We had to shift our appointments quite a few times to get here, but now we're finally there.
You're funny.
And you're smiling.
Yes.
Um, so, Tanya, as you know, in Shift Happens, we talk about a pivotal moment in life and either what one has learned in that moment or how it has influenced the life that came afterwards. But before we start, I want to ask a few questions. What is your current state of mind?
At the moment, I have to say that I feel quite tranquil.
Nice.
And I also want to say, even though this isn't even your question, I want to say thank you, Claudia, for including me in this series of conversations. I, it reminds me as I've been listening to your podcasts and other women that you've interviewed, and it is just only women so far.
Hmm.
And maybe always. I'm not sure what your plan is for the future as this evolves, but it reminds me of the tradition of storytelling, of
Hmm.
Native American storytelling or other cultures that knowledge is transmitted down from your ancestors. And so it's quite special to be a part of this sort of in the new generation of
Story.
conveying your history verbally. And because you've compiled people from all over the world, it's wonderful to have that access. The benefits of technology,
Yes, absolutely.
right?
Absolutely. But
Yeah, so
thank you.
thank you. I'm honored to be a part of it for that
And
reason and others.
thank you. Thank you for pointing that out because I really also believe that it's such an important part. And because podcasts in general are so successful and people are so drawn to it, we can see how we need to be nourished by this form of storytelling.
And it's a
I
way of getting distances shorter, even as
Mhm.
in real life, distances are getting longer.
Yeah. Yes, true. It's a form of connection. Yes. So you're tranquil. Great. Dogs or cats?
Of both. However, the other people in my household are allergic.
Oh, I see.
Isn't that sad?
Yeah.
Dogs, cats, chickens, any animal.
Any animal.
Yes,
Okay. Still or sparkling?
still
What is your superpower?
listening. Listening to
Good.
nature.
Hmm. Beautiful. So, you shared with me beforehand that for you, it was like the most important moment that when you accepted that you would commit your whole life to being an artist.
That's right.
And that I find really, really interesting because it's it's huge and it encompasses everything in life. So of course I'm like wondering when do you think exactly this happened? In which phase of your life? And how do you know that how did you know, okay, this is just what I have to do. This is my calling.
Claudia, I have actually been thinking about this too. And thank you for asking this question and making it one of your main questions in your podcast. But so in my family, there are many artists, as in people who can draw and paint incredibly well. So I grew up taking it for granted
Hmm.
that this is something that everyone does. And also in certain schooling systems, you learn how to draw. It's like a technical skill, just as you learn how to do embroidery,
Hmm.
carpentry. So I always loved to draw and paint. And so did pretty much everybody else in my extended family on my mother's side. I'm not sure about my father's side in terms of that that sort of artistry. But I just took it for granted that it was one of the languages that I spoke. And it was really, and I always studied it, painted, drew, sculpted. Um, it was only when I was at a point in my life where I had grief.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, no other language was sufficient. And
Mm-hmm.
that was exactly the pivot when I committed myself to living my life as an artist, because then I could speak the language that expressed how I felt and also um, transform and work through that
Mm-hmm.
grief to a point of tranquility, transformation. As you know, a lot of my work is around transformation. And I'm extremely interested in nature because nature is by nature chaotic, but in that chaos, there's an order and there
Mm-hmm.
is a beauty and a regeneration.
Mm-hmm.
Does that sort of give you a clue?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that for many people, it's that way. You commit when you find your language. Could be your language is the legal language, and that's you commit to it,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
or it's a voice,
Mm-hmm.
you're singing, or it's you can heal people's bodies. But I think that's really the search in life. And sometimes you come to it. Obviously, I wish that I had never had grief. I'm sure
Mm-hmm.
that that is the case for everybody, but that happened, and therefore I had no choice but to make the commitment in order to express
But it is
and transform.
often the case, right? When we hit rock bottoms, many say, or when we experience deep grief or we experience a deep loss, that often this comes with some sort of revelation or some sort of renewal, and or finding your voice and committing to your language.
Always, I've always believed that. Even before this
Hmm.
pivotal moment, I always just naturally felt in my life that there's always a choice. And sometimes if something doesn't naturally work, it's the wrong thing.
Hmm.
Just that if it feels difficult, most times it's not right for you or
Hmm.
for the people around you because it creates not very fine feelings.
Hmm. Hmm.
Not to be flippant, I as in the sense of course, there are difficult things that you feel, that one feels, that one works through. Life is just not all, what do you say? I read this actually in a book. Life is not all HiHi-HaHa. I think it
Yeah,
was an Indian book.
that's
Isn't
yes.
it?
That's a good sentence to carry, to carry away from this. Life is not always hee hee ha ha. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it
Well,
should feel
I
like
think,
it's a flow because
yeah,
life
yeah,
is a flow. It's all energies.
yeah, exactly. I feel at the moment we live at a time where there's not there's not the real flow. We're
Um,
stuck. We're stuck. But that's a side note. So
yeah.
you you felt that being an artist and committing fully as an artist, you found your language, what you wanted to express. And what was it that was so important for you and where you realized that this all comes together, like the content, what do you want to say, like your thoughts, and doing so creatively as an artist.
So, until this point happened, I painted portraits.
Ah,
That was my genre. Oil, portraits, people. And when I committed to being an artist, not a painter, but an artist, I moved totally to abstraction.
mm-hmm,
And I moved to, I suppose, a form of crystallization, like accumulation of moments and moments and moments, excuse me, to the extent that they form an energy. I'm losing my voice, but
mm-hmm,
and so that is the startling thing for me in the new language. was abstract
Hmm.
and energetic and about the invisible and the harmony in the invisible. So emotion, breath, uh, joy, elation, sadness, the displacement of ocean with the current in the water, the wind, you see it because things move.
Hmm.
Heat, fire, you feel the flame, you feel the heat, you don't see it. The spirit that holds our body and our soul, um, air, already brought that up, earth,
Hmm.
because it has all the components of life.
Hmm.
And that is how the work that I started to make when I committed to being an artist,
Hmm.
not just a painter,
Hmm.
that changed in my work.
Hmm.
And over the years, it's been mainly abstract about these energies and
Hmm.
geometry and crystals, embroidery as a form of historical narration.
Hmm.
Um, and now I'm pulling these energies into landscapes, which is just such a wonderful feeling for me
Hmm.
because it really, those express both the movement of all the different elements that I work with,
Hmm.
the natural elements, and um, and in a way like an enclosed space, but also spaces that I just like, that resonate with me,
Hmm.
that say, okay, this is beautiful.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, that's interesting because you also said that you came to realize that being an artist means living it as a whole and that there's no compartmentalizing between the work and the personal. And you live in New York City, you have a busy life, you know,
Yeah.
you like how do you find your calm and how do you extract yourself from the very busy life that is around you and that you are all that is also part of you?
Oh, yes, Claudia, I used to really get anxious about how to carve out the time to
Hmm.
paint. I felt that I had to be in my studio from like 9 to whatever, or like all night. And then I realized this is actually counterproductive to what I'm doing.
Hmm.
And so that was a short-lived moment.
Hmm.
So I work when I can work,
Hmm.
given all the different components of my life.
Hmm.
And because my work is meditative and it is about harmony, whether that harmony arises from chaos or whether that harmony arises from peace and a gentle swaying of the breeze, or a still lake, or the snow on a mountain, I need to work in that state of mind. So
Hmm.
now I work when I can work, and that's
Hmm.
enough for me.
Hmm.
And I can say what I want to say in that space.
Hmm.
And one of the things that really did help me was to really think about me and how do I like to work and not be so influenced by how books told me or other people told me how how to structure my day
Hmm.
and how to make my priorities, because for me everything is an equal priority. That
Hmm.
is a part of my immediate life at the moment, my family, my friends, and my work. So I just work according to that.
Yeah, I mean it's so lovely and beautiful for you that you found your language and within your language you found your voice. And you said also that you believe that everyone has this potential, but that we
I
live
do.
in a society where it's just, the opportunities to live this out are more and more reduced, right?
More reduced, or I think people are fearful. I think there's greater fear in our generation and the generations below us
Hmm.
about how do you figure out how to live your everyday life so there's no conflict in terms of work and personal life. And if you are working in a field that you love, then there will not be as much conflict than if you're doing something that goes contrary to what you like doing. And so many people have contradictory talents. Not contradictory, but well, yes, I guess contradictory, as and
Hmm.
we would see them as contradictory, but historically speaking, they're not really. Like I think Rousseau, he was a tax collector. I'm just saying about artists.
Hmm.
I think Da Vinci was like a scientist in addition to being an incredible painter. And so
Hmm.
many, so historically from medieval Renaissance times, and probably if you go back to um, even civilizations like Mohenjo-daro, like
Hmm.
their functionality and beauty went side to side, and so did commerce. And now we try to stratify, and I think that makes it more
Hmm.
difficult for people to say, okay, this is my talent, and this is what I want to focus on, and maybe choosing something that isn't necessarily going to make you happy at the end of the day.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's a journey also, right? I mean,
Yes,
it's like
yes, of
and
course.
then these yeah, these moments happen
Yes, yes. How do
that
you know? You should try different things.
yeah, that evolve. Like you started out
Like me.
in
Yes,
management consulting,
yes,
yeah.
yes. And I loved it. And I use it to make decisions.
Hmm.
Yeah.
The
Because it's a way,
strategic.
it's like a way to, yeah, structure your thoughts. It's wonderful.
Hmm.
So,
And
sorry. Yeah, I'm
no
lucky. And
problem.
I would encourage everybody to think that way, to think, not think my way, but to really, in your
Just
heart and in your mind, in all your faculties, how would you ideally live? How would you spend your days? And then in the practicality of it all, what would you decide to do? And I think it's worth to take the time to figure it out.
mm-hmm. Yeah. And maybe it is the time that we have stopped taking for that process. You know, one has to carve it out. But then again, it needs to happen organically.
I think it has to happen organically. And for
Yeah.
women, it's even harder, I think, because when you have your families, then and you have additional roles, and if you have maybe a job that is very regimented, maybe it's easier to do it while you're also taking being a mother and a wife and a daughter and a sister. Perhaps that could be something you would say, okay, it's easier for me just to do this. I know I'm doing this, and then that's it, it's over. And for other people, it's easier to be amorphous
Hmm. Hmm.
and work when you can without compromising other things. So it's really personal, I think, for everybody, but it is, I think, important for every like young girl, every child. I think it's important for every mother to try to bring this up with their kids. I'm just thinking of the next generation.
Yeah. 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 It is. I mean, I feel that the younger people are more and more realizing that there is there are gifts that are inherent in them, um, and that they try to make space to live it because it's not given everywhere. I mean, our kids we've known each other for a while, and our
We
kids
have.
went to a school, right, that gifted them really, and we gifted them because we sent them to that school and were able to do it. We gifted them with the ability to create
Yes,
and to take away something that they built and that they drew and they learned all these what you've described earlier, what you've done in that what you've also done in school. Like they learned all these skills and they cannot be taken away.
they can't be. No, I think that that school really gifted them uh, with the permission to have or try to have original thought,
Hmm.
as opposed to everything derivative.
Yeah.
And that is really a special thing. And thank you for bringing that up. It kind of had slipped my mind
Yeah.
that
Yeah, no, I was thinking about that. So, in your work and as a female artist, how or is that any has this been have you been thinking about it that you are a female artist and that you are a woman being
oh,
creative and finding your language in art? Has this ever crossed your mind?
oh. I don't think that I have, although I do say that somebody that I'm really, really inspired by is Alice Neal.
Hmm.
You know, the portrait painter and her life story and how she found inspiration in the everyday,
Hmm.
from her Spanish Harlem neighbors to her baby in the crib. And no matter what was going on, she just painted what was right there. And that has always been something that's stuck in my mind because I thought, well, I don't know if she was a male artist, maybe she wouldn't, or he would not have been doing that.
Hmm.
So I did think about that, but
Hmm.
in the everyday, I don't think I really think about it. And that might just have to do with my upbringing. That I think that might just really literally have to do with that.
Hmm.
Because I came from a culture where it is a little bit different if you're a woman or if you're a girl child or a man child. But my father always said to me, um, there's really no difference as long as you do something that stands out. That's really the thing to look at. So I've always looked at things
Still a
that
little
way.
bit of pressure.
That's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
Exactly, it is, but it has not been like the male female comparison. It's been like, yeah, just try to be really good.
I know you don't really like to talk about where, you're coming from and your journey, but I still think it's very interesting and uplifting and especially then, becoming an artist.
You mean like where I grew up? Is that what you're
Yeah.
asking about?
Yes.
Oh
Hmm.
no, I love to talk about it. I grew up in Pakistan until I was 17 years old. And so culturally, I'm completely Pakistani and I'm extremely proud of it. And um, it definitely 100% affects my work, especially,
Hmm.
for instance, the new paintings that I'm talking about, the
Hmm.
paintings that I'm working towards for my solo show in September, which I think I mentioned to you.
Hmm.
Um, they're all, I'm using paint like embroidery
Hmm.
because it's part of a culture that I've lost and a language that I've lost because I have been living in the United States since I was 17 years old, and I went to college here, graduate school here, worked, got married, had a child, got married again. I'm still living here, working here as a proud American, but culturally, yes, I am completely Pakistani, and it's a very rich heritage with in terms
Hmm.
of the
Yeah.
miniature painting, the detail to arts and crafts, textiles, uh, tapestries, historical art. I mentioned
Hmm.
Mohenjo-daro and Harappa, which are one of the oldest civilizations in the world. So the ceramics, even like the layout of that civilization. So I'm very proud of it.
Hmm.
And I'm loving how it's coming into my work now.
Hmm.
I had worked on this series called The Loss of Language a while ago because I'm fluent in Urdu and I
Hmm.
don't really speak it very much because I don't spend so much time with just the way my life has worked out. Even my friends from home who live in the United States or when I see them outside of here, they don't that much speak to me in Urdu. So when I find somebody who does, I'm so excited.
Hmm.
And I realized I'm not dreaming in Urdu anymore. I'm dreaming in English. So
Hmm.
I guess I've become like completely intertwined my two languages. So I did a series called that, The Loss of Language, in which I
Hmm.
used words and wildflowers to
Hmm.
convey what I was feeling.
Hmm.
And I've set it aside for now, but perhaps in the next few years I'll bring it up again
Hmm.
because it's important.
Yeah, it is. And it probably also is maybe age related or journey related. We're like, where in life are we? What is the point? Because when also, when we were younger, then maybe the past and where we come from is not so important as where we want to go to. And then
Yeah,
then then there comes a point where the reflection on where we come from, where we stem from, what has been a cultural influence either from the bigger culture one lived in or a family culture one lived in. How has this actually influenced me?
we all think about that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And I think that our country, the United States, has so many people from so many different backgrounds. And it's just exciting. You can't
Mm-hmm.
help but go deeper into, oh, what's my heritage? What did I grow up with? And you start thinking about it more and more.
Yes. Sorry.
No, not at all, not at all. But you'll see this if you come to my show, you'll see the influence of my
Yes. So
parents' heritage.
what what is
That
the
is my
name? What
heritage.
what is the name of the show?
A tapestry of dreams.
Tapestry of Dreams. And you
Yeah.
you said it's coming up in September. It's going to be
Yes,
on view in New York City.
yes.
And I will put it in my show notes.
Oh, thank you. It's at Winston Wächter Fine Art.
Yes. And so the work that you are preparing for this show is how long have you been working on it and how has it evolved?
Oh, it's
Or
wonderful.
did
I've
or
been
did you
working on
know
it for a year.
exactly in the beginning this is what I want to do? Use your strategic side of the brain
No, no, it's
or
been evolving. I used the strategic side of my brain to lay out the show.
yeah.
What the gallery gave me, like a layout of the space. And then I went there and I made a video and it had dimensions. And then I laid out how many paintings I would make to say what I wanted to say.
Hmm.
So that was the strategy. And now I've just been painting. So I have time. I've been taking the time to make the paintings.
Hmm.
And I'm quite happy
Exciting.
with them. It's
Yeah.
so exciting, Claudia. It's
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
exciting. Yeah. Because also it's nice because the work has this very specific energy.
Hmm.
It's really great to be in one space, just my paintings. The last time I had a solo show was in um, Charlottesville, and it was in 2021. And
Hmm.
right, it was like February 12th, and then COVID,
Right after. Yeah.
COVID, and then it was like on. Then they had to move it online, but it was wonderful because it was in one room was just my paintings,
Hmm.
and then the other room was Aboriginal artists because
Oh,
that
wow.
area, the Kluhi-Roo collection is there. So there, it was just one. It was beautiful. So I'm looking forward to like having
Yes.
a bigger room than the previous July show.
Yeah.
Yes, because that was seven paintings, but that was really very nice in
Yes.
Bridgehampton. It
Yes,
was
it
beautiful, but it
was.
was
It
small.
was
Yeah,
beautiful, but
it was.
it
Yeah,
was small, but it was beautiful and you are right. I mean, the energy is just different if it's a whole body of work.
yeah. I think that's why they give artists solo shows,
Yeah. Yeah.
so your
Yeah,
voice can be heard.
definitely. Yeah, no, and as you say, it does create energy. Everything is energy and it has a different it speaks to you differently. I mean, to me as a viewer.
Sometimes I think people feel like if you say energy, then you're being like too mystical. But the chemistry of our body is all energy. Cells fall sick because there's like an energetic problem because of
Yes.
the chemicals or the enzymes. So I don't, that's not my forte, the biology of the body. But I
Hmm.
think that your the state of your energetic equilibrium makes a huge difference, not only to your health, but also to other people around you. I mean, I'm sure
Oh,
you come across a person and you just don't want to be around them because they just feel not good for you. Has that ever happened to you?
oh, definitely.
You
Definitely.
know,
But
it's
I
there.
also, yes, and it's absolutely there. And but in particular with art, art has always been there. There has always been an urge in every culture to express themselves and to either tell stories through certain ways, or to show beauty, to reflect beauty, to use a language, to use a different language. And the museums are full. I mean, I'm always like so happy when I pass a museum, and I try to go when it's not so full, but I'm always happy when I see the long lines because I find it fascinating that people are just drawn to it, and they are drawn to because energy is being communicated or transmitted.
It's the invisible, right?
Yeah.
Like in the brush strokes
Yeah.
and in the shapes,
Yeah.
you say something that another person can read, and it might not even necessarily always be what you're saying, but they can read it. And it's the
Hmm.
same as you go to the ocean and you can tell when it's roiling, right? You can
Hmm.
feel it. You can feel when there's like something a little bit dangerous. And you can go to a lake and it's calm and you feel it in your body
Hmm.
and you
Hmm.
feel it in your heart. And in the movements of the hand when you're working, no matter what your expression, you convey the emotion and then it presents itself.
Hmm. Yeah, I believe so too. I really do. And so I'm very excited um, for your show.
Oh, thank
And
you.
when will you, I mean, what is your process? Like, when will you finish it, and do you know how to go about it?
Well, my process of each of my paintings is that I, uh, when I have inspiration,
Hmm.
I write and I write what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling, and based on that, I plan my paintings. And at the moment, because I'm doing landscape paintings, they're all places that are important to me.
Hmm.
And I I then try to convey why they're important and
Hmm.
what the beauty is in each of them.
Hmm.
And so it goes painting by painting by painting by painting. And that's where I'm at. And I think probably, well, maybe because these are just all paintings, I do wall drawings too, but this does not, I'm not doing any for this. So once all the paintings are finished, then it's the installation. And that's a process with uh, my gallery.
Hmm.
So I have
Yeah.
my idea and I've laid it out, but obviously we will decide that together.
Okay.
Because luckily the people that I work with are just extremely not only just very aware of my work, but they just have such a great eye of presentation and they just have been in that field for so long that I almost feel like they would be better at maybe hanging the paintings than me.
Yeah, and at a certain point, you probably have to let go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Hmm. They graduate.
They graduate. Yeah,
They
they graduate,
graduate.
and I move on to the next thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful. Really, really beautiful. I'm so looking forward, and I hope I will be in New York City to be able to see your show.
Oh, you must please come. I think it's open
Yes.
September 18, but I think it's there up for like 3 to 4 weeks.
for a while. Okay.
Yes, yes.
I wanted to ask you to come to a close now. You said your work is very meditative. What are your tools you use to calm yourself down apart from that? And what do you do if you need to pick yourself up?
To calm myself down, I go on walks, and also I use Bach flower drops.
Hmm. Love them.
Yes.
Yeah.
To pick myself up, I'm one of those people. I wake up. I always have been that way. I wake up.
Good.
So yeah.
That's lucky.
And if I'm down, then I walk or take
Yeah.
the drops.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Very simple.
Isn't that? It's very simplistic.
Good. Good. Much easier than all of those Instagram reels I see about how to calm yourself down and how to connect with your nervous system. It's like, God.
No, but those things also all work, but I can only do them under guided
Hmm.
instructions.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Like not on Instagram, but if like a person would sit with me and work through those with me, I would love it.
Hmm.
Like any kind of holistic work I love. But day to day, it's my beach walks, it's my city walks, it's my
Hmm.
swims, and it's my Bach flower remedies. I should
Yeah.
be like a poster girl for Bach flower
Yeah.
remedies.
Oh, I love them. I love
Don't
them.
you? Aren't they the best?
Yes, they are. They really
Yeah.
are. I mean, any of them. Well, Tanya, it was lovely to speak to you and to connect here for Shift Happens. And as I said, I will include the information on your show
Oh,
in the show notes of the podcast, so everybody who is interested in the city can come and see your work.
that is so kind of you. So I guess my
Absolutely.
ancestral wisdom is Bach flower drops, walks, and go see my show.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm honored to be part of this. Thank
Yes.
you.
Yeah, I thank you for making time for it.